Welcome back. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says he is ready to work with the incoming Trump administration, including border czar Tom Homan, in their deportation efforts of illegal migrant criminals. Adams seemingly not caring what his critics say. Watch this.
Well, cancel me, because I'm going to protect the people of the city. I reached out to him and shared I would like to sit down and speak with him to hear what are his ideas. Because I don't want people talking at each other. I want people to talk to each other. I believe I have some ideas that could deal with this issue, and we could reach what the American people have been saying to us. Secure our borders, address the people who are committing violent acts in our country, and make sure that we have our citizens are going to be safe.
Homan has since responded. Tom Homan said, "I certainly will meet with him. I'm looking for partnerships. I'm not looking for enemies." He told Sean Hannity that he'll be in New York on the 12th, December 12th, and he's aiming for that date to speak with Eric Adams. Joining me now is the chairman and CEO of United Refining Company and Red Apple Group, John Catsimatidis. John, great to see you.
Always good to see you.
And we love it because
Merry Christmas. Too.
Merry Christmas. Love it. We could talk politics as well as business with you. First, give us your reaction now to Eric Adams. Doing a little bit of a 360 here.
Well, I was at the Al Smith dinner the way you were, and President Trump acknowledged that the same forces that brought him down, the rule of law, brought down Eric Adams, and they brought down Andrew Cuomo too. There was the rule of law did not exist for the last 2 years, and I was so shocked that very few educated, big-time lawyers didn't stand up. Dershowitz stood up, a few others stood up, but the other ones didn't stand up and say, "Where's the rule of law?"
Yeah, I would say it's gone on for more than just 2 years.
Well, yeah. At least the last 2 years, 3 years, it's just horrible. And I think it's the mission of President Trump right now to find out who pushed those buttons. And those buttons were pushed against Eric Adams, and they were pushed against Donald Trump. They were pushed against Navarro, and they were pushed against Roger Stone. Yeah. They were just pushed.
Yeah, Peter Navarro will now be a senior official in the Trade Department in the White House.
And he deserves it. He's a good guy. Eric Adams, as the airplane was taking off to go to Washington to get the other 6 mayors in the inner cities involved and say to President Biden, enough is enough. We need some help on this on these migrants. Well, guess what? As the airplane was taking off, they broke down all the. It took all his computers, took his assistants' computers. It smells. Come on. Things don't happen like that. Yes.
Yeah.
And right now, President Trump says no more sanctuary cities. We believe in helping foreigners in distress. But why are they bringing in criminals? Why are they bringing in convicts? Why are they bringing in drugs? Who pushed those buttons at the White House?
That's a
to
great,
allow that to happen.
Yeah, that's a great point, John. Which is hard. It's hard to believe that there hasn't been a consensus on deporting violent criminals, maybe until now. But do you think also part of what Eric Adams is thinking is, the Biden administration pushed out $383 million to help cities deal with migrants, and that money's not going to be there anymore. And I think Eric Adams may know that, and it's going to be on New York City's dime alone. So that might be also part of what's going on.
Why are we taking care of illegal migrants, giving them $300 a day rooms while our vets are in the streets dying?
Exactly.
While our inner city poor is dying.
$157 billion spent on illegals last year.
Something smells. And it's time to find out what happened. And the rule of law has to come back to the United States of America.
Yeah. What I want to know is, looking at Mayor Adams saying that he's going to have these meetings, right? Things are changing. People in 2016, a lot of people said, "I will never meet with a Trump official. I will never sit down and have a conversation." It seems as if we're having a different tenor now. People who are surprising us are going to have conversations.
I don't think the resist is going to work.
Go woke, go broke.
Yeah.
And right now, I think the system is reversing itself, and the American people said enough is enough.
Because it's not defendable. It's not defendable when you see people like Laken Riley get murdered. It's not defendable to have open borders when we don't vet anybody.
Governor Patterson, governor, getting beat up on 96th Street. You know, it's just
that is just disgusting.
It's disgusting.
President Trump is set to roll back the Biden administration's energy regulations. I want to talk to you about this because I spoke with Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy on this program this week about the regulatory burdens that have been in place that you've mentioned so many times. Watch this.
Well, we're expecting the president to go back to what we had 4 years ago under President Trump, and that is a rollback of the executive orders that the Biden administration has imposed on this country, especially Alaska. We have over 66 what we call sanctions against Alaska by our own federal government, executive orders. And so the hope is on the first day that President Trump does what he does best, and that's create opportunity across the board by repealing these executive orders, everything from not allowing ANWR to have the leases go into effect that were sold, to getting NPRA back in service in terms of being able to get leases in NPRA, the oil reserve up in Alaska. 13 million acres were taken off the table by the Biden administration. Offshore oil leases. I mean, the list goes on for Alaska. That includes minerals, mining, timber, you name it. All were severely hampered by this administration, but we are looking forward to the day that President Trump gets back in and rolls these executive orders back.
So you've been living this, right, in the oil business. So what can be done?
What can be done? We can make North America self-sufficient again. And I think that's what President Trump is going to do. President Biden, he favored Iran. He favored China. I mean, I think he had crossed the line.
I know, it's crazy.
I mean, enough is enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he took Iran from 400,000 barrels a day that President Trump had it, up to 3 million barrels a day. They were selling it to the Chinese. We made Russia and Iran wealthy again.
Yeah, they generated billions in oil revenue, and then they used some of that money to back the proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah. Mark Tepper, jump in.
Yeah, so you're strengthening your adversaries and competitors at your expense, right? Not a smart thing to do. But, John, you've been pushing hard for the last several years on the need for lower oil prices as a way to moderate and or combat inflation.
That's what Trump wants to do.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Now, one of the issues is that Strategas Research, they did a study, and what they arrived at is that whenever inflation exceeds 6%, 85% of the time, there ends up being a second wave. Now, there's a lull after that first wave, but then the second wave can be just as nasty or maybe even nastier than the first. The concern now is that maybe the labor market is heating up a little bit. Kind of notwithstanding today's jobless claims numbers, but earlier in the week, you saw job openings skyrocket. You saw the quits rate skyrocket, which to me means people are now looking for higher wages. And higher wages lead to higher prices because you have to pay for the wages. Is that an issue? That
is an issue. It's a transition period. When oil, the right price of oil is probably $55.60. And if you increase supply, it's going to go to 55.60. If you cut, but then if you cut down what Iran is doing, what's going to happen there? If you open up the Red Sea, I mean, that is a sin. Can you imagine an American president keeping the Red Sea and the Suez Canal closed for, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months? Impossible. I mean, we got to bring the rule of law back. We got to allow our military to do their job.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
All right, we will leave it there. John, great to catch up.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. John Catsimatidis, stay with us.